Does your BMW hood look like this, but you'd prefer a more aggressive look, perhaps even lighter weight? Then stay tuned as we install the GTS Hood on the M235i. Let's get into it.
What's up everybody, my name is Fritz and welcome to the channel. In our last video, we covered the top 5 things to hate about the M235i, but also the solutions to them. That way your driving experience in this car goes up dramatically. We also celebrated the first video in the year 2022 and talked about setting some goals and resolutions for ourselves in order to improve our lives. One of the most common goals that people set in the new year has to deal with some sort of weight loss or increasing the defining lines of certain muscle groups that those people wish to enhance. And when it comes to the M235i, it's no different. And that's exactly what it achieved very early on in the new year with the Souvenir GTS Hood. Although it's not the genuine BMW carbon fiber hood, these are the modifications that I absolutely love. Coming in at a third or a fourth of the price of the BMW hood, but giving us 80% of the performance with all of the aerodynamics of the GTS hood, but also coming in very close to the same amount of weight as that carbon fiber hood. But as you can tell with this hood, it's already painted. And that's thanks to my friends over at Union City Auto Body, who, if you reference this video, will give you special pricing on paint. But if you have them paint the hood of your car, they're even gonna do the installation for you free of charge. So you're gonna get a paint job backed by a lifetime warranty alongside with a free installation. It sounds like a win-win to me, but I'm not gonna leave those of you who are not located in the Bay Area stranded, because we're gonna do the installation of this hood solo. But I would recommend, if you can, have somebody help you at least take off the old hood and put on the new one until you can secure it into place. But just to show you that it is possible to do solo, I'm gonna do this job alongside you by myself. So with that said, let's get this hood installed on your BMW.
With the hood open, lock one of the struts into place before using a pick tool to remove all of the plastic coverings, washer lines, and hood bumpers. For the actual fluid nozzle, you'll want to push in the tabs from the front before pulling them out. Since my hood bumpers look like this, I decided to get new ones and set them for the current gap of these bumpers. But if yours are in much better shape, go ahead and just reuse them. Before removing the hood pins, count how many threads are showing so we have a good starting off point with the new hood. Now you can unscrew the 4 13mm nuts attaching the hood, and you'll want to tilt out the rear threads before lifting the hood up. Just ensure that you have enough space overhead and that you have a clear path to lay down your hood. Then, as you bring in your new hood in the proper orientation, slide on the threads farthest from you first, before getting in your closer side. Since the hood is much lighter, this part is easier than it looks. In fact, the hood comes in lighter than advertised at 16.3 pounds. That's 20.3 pounds lighter than our OEM hood. Thread back in your 13mm nuts hand tight and do your best to get it in the unpainted areas it was at before. That should be very close to the position that we need. At the top, we just have to insert our hood pins and bumpers as they were previously positioned. In this case, 4 to 5 threads. At the lower portion, we have to reinstall our washer line and hood grommets. Just take care of your washer fluid nozzles, which need to have the rear section hooked in first before pushing in the front pins, because they are a little bit thin and fragile. Some of you may also need to remove one of your hood struts in order to accommodate the reduced weight of the new hood. But since my dad's F30 hood struts were starting to fail, I just swapped the hood struts between the two cars, and now both hoods are fully supported. Now we can test fit the hood, but don't press it into place just yet. Just rest the hood pins on the latches and ensure that you have enough clearance on the edges before pressing it into place the first time. And don't expect it to be perfect on the first try. Expect to fine-tune the fitment at least a few times. But once you know all the adjustment points and what they do, this part is very manageable and should take 15 minutes to an hour, depending on if you have other aftermarket parts or damages that need to be accounted for. The T30s at the top of the bumper control how far in or out the bumper goes, while the T30s that hold in the top metal radiator support can lower or raise the bumper slightly. As for the hood, we have the 13mm nuts that control how far forward and laterally the hood will lay. With the hood pins and bumpers, managing the hood's height where it will meet the top front portion of the bumper. If for some reason you need to adjust the lateral gap further, you can loosen the 10mm bolts that secure in the fender to manage that gap. Once you're happy with the fitment, put back on your weather stripping by its centering dot. Now you can torque down your 13mm nuts to 18.5 Newton meters. Bring down the hood for our last part, the vent installation, which pops right in.
And just like that, we've installed the Souvenir GTS Hood on your BMW with the perfect amount of gap to appear OEM. But if for some reason the bumper appears a little bit lower than the hood, even after all of the adjustments, that's not really an issue with the hood design itself. It's more so of an issue of the internal plastic radiator shroud that's underneath that top metal radiator support. But I would have to say that the Souvenir GTS Hood has a great fit and finish. Not only does it fit on the M235i like a glove, but also all of the underside attachment points for the grommets, the hood pins, as well as the fluid washer lines. So thank you, Souvenir, for making such an excellent piece, but also shipping it in such good packaging, because a big piece like this over freight is subject to damage. But because they packaged it so well, it prevented most damage or any damage happening at all. In reference to paint, I didn't have Union City Auto Body blend the fenders and the bumper to the hood. All that I did was drop off the hood, and when it was time to paint, I brought over the car. That way they could match up some of their styles of paint to the actual car itself, and then pick that blend of paint to paint the hood. And because of the defining lines of the car, I don't really think it's necessary to blend the paint to the fenders as well as the bumper. But I think this also goes to the credit of Union City Auto Body, who have been around for over 15 years and have painted other cars of mine in the past. So having an experienced body shop does make a huge difference when it comes to painting the hood of your car. And I'm very thankful that they're gonna give you guys special pricing on the paint, but also gonna do the installation for you for free. But if you have any additional questions, please leave it for me down in the comment section below. If you need any of the resources at all, it's gonna be down in the description links. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll see all of you in the next one.